What's going on, y'all, and happy Tuesday. I hope everybody out there is feeling fantastic. Now, with all of that said, let's go ahead and jump into these topics. And the first thing I want to discuss is this Tory Lanez situation, because apparently this brother was poked up in jail on yesterday, including 7 times in his back, 4 times in his torso, twice in the back of the head, and once on the left side of his face. Now, as a result of those unfortunate injuries that Tory sustained, both of his lungs ended up collapsing, but we're told that he's breathing better now and he's breathing on his own. He was put on an apparatus, I believe that's what you call it, but again, he's breathing on his own now. So we don't know what caused this or whatever the case may be. And of course, there's major speculation that Roc Nation is behind this, the whole issue with Megan Thee Stallion. A lot of people feel that they're trying to silence Tory. I want to play you guys a couple of clips of people talking about this, and then I'll be back.
Wouldn't it be wild if Tory Lanez's former lawyer, Sean Hawley, allegedly set him up and worked for Roc Nation? Wouldn't it be wild if she had a show that she produced based on her life named after Jay-Z's first album, Reasonable Doubt? Wouldn't it be wild if her daughter, who was a singer, sang background for Beyonce? It would be even wilder that this is just a month after the alleged shooting in the foot. I mean, it wouldn't be any more wild if that he does an interview explaining that the 4 pieces of DNA on that weapon, none of those were his, then he gets in jail and is in critical condition. I mean, that would be crazy if that was true, right?
Here's the update on Tory Lanez's condition after he was the victim of a thing that happened while he was on the prison yard that caused them to immediately fly him to the nearest hospital. It was stated that Tory Lanez was got 14 times, sadly to his back, torso, the back of his head, and his face. It was stated that both his lungs had collapsed. The doctors did what they were able to do, and luckily he is now breathing on his own, but he is still in deep pain. Now, as you guys know, not everybody's praying for his goodness. You have those in the comments of the Shade Room, Neighborhood Talk, and all them talking about how this is Roc Nation getting payback for Megan, how this is God trying to basically punish Tory Lanez for messing with his favorite, or how the karma is coming back on him. Yeah, some saying that this is what happened when you mess with women. Regardless of the fact, again, I am not promoting this type of behavior. I am just reporting on the news. And what do you guys think about this whole situation?
All right, so you guys just heard all of that. Now, me personally, I can't definitively say that Roc Nation is behind this. Of course, I'm not there. I'm not in those rooms orchestrating these alleged plans and attacks and things like that. But I will say that Tory does go for bad, and he's probably on that prison yard trying to play thug, and somebody checked him, right? But at the end of the day, it's a very tricky situation. A lot of people feel that Tory is not guilty of putting a slug in Meg. A lot of people feel that he did do it. He did get convicted of it. But at the end of the day, a lot of people are not feeling how Megan is going about the situation after the fact that he got locked up. I saw somebody actually say that, why are you putting a restraining order on Tory Lanez and he's already locked up in prison? So some people think that it's going too far. And as a reflection of that, it's telling of how many units she's moving as far as her music is concerned. Her albums are flopping all over the place like a fish out of water. And another thing I want to add before I end this segment is the fact that I don't think that Meg should have ever did that interview with Gayle King. She came across very disingenuous and she lied about a few things. And I think that as a result of that interview, a lot of people, even some people that support her, question her character. And it's a reflection, just like I said earlier, of the albums that she's not selling, the lack thereof. I mean, how the hell you're gonna have someone that used to open for you in Glorilla selling more units than you, right? So definitely she has taken a step back in her career, and it could just be her overall talent. But anyway, let's move along, and I want to talk about this explosive Diddy trial that everybody is paying close attention to. So the first thing that caught my attention is the fact that Misa Hilton, Diddy's baby mom, showed up using a walker.
Misa, how are you? It's TMZ here, sorry. Well, you look great nonetheless.
Now, while some people were all over social media making jokes about Misa being in a walker, some people were saying that Mary J. Blige got to her based off of the fact that Misa just filed this lawsuit against Mary. And then there were people saying that Misa was probably trying to play the sympathy card to help Diddy out in some form and fashion, but I'm told that she sustained a leg injury and that she should be seeing a doctor here shortly that's going to administer her a walking boot so she can ditch that walker and she'll be able to get around safely in that way. But anyway, Diddy's mom was there. Also, his baby mom Sarah was in attendance, along with Diddy's daughters, Justin and also Christian, of course, were there, and also Quincy. So the immediate family, they were in attendance to support Diddy. Now, what's interesting is the fact that Jaguar Wright pulled up to the scene, y'all. So I want you guys to check this out.
Who's been here all along. I've been waiting for this moment for 5 years, and here we are. And I'm praying that everyone remembers there are survivors, real life survivors. And I hope that everyone takes into account how necessary a true verdict, a just verdict now. 25 years of pain, 25 years of hurt. And I'm praying that God's just going to do what he told me he's going to do. So I hope we're all just saying in visual prayer for everyone on all sides of this. These are human issues, and we need to have real human response and emotion.
Father God, I come boldly to the throne of grace, asking you for your forgiveness and mercy. I really want to say something really bad, but I know that it will be from an irritable place because I'm hungry, because I'm on the second day of this water fast, so I'm going to remain professional here. So guys, let's move along and gravitate to what transpired inside the courtroom. Now, the testimonies were so horrific that Diddy's daughters had to be removed, or they left the courtroom rather. And I'm hearing from a reputable individual in the music industry that all of you guys know that Kim Porter's father is hotter than fish grease. He felt that none of the girls, his granddaughters or Sarah Chapman's daughter, should have been in attendance. I'm told that Mr. Porter was fuming and that his eyes were bloodshot red and just clearly highly upset. And on top of that, I'm also hearing that Mr. Porter called out Janice Combs, and it's also been expressed to me that Mr. Porter had several conversations with Janice and whoever was around about the girls' involvement and how much they should be involved with the trial moving forward, given the fact of how vile and how tainted and how satanic the stories were that were coming from the actual male worker, whose name is Daniel Phillip, that said that Cassie asked him to perform water sports in her mouth. So what I want to do right now is play you guys a couple of clips and then I'll be back.
Here at court, the day is over. It's been a long day. Normally I check in with y'all, but I couldn't do that today because if I left the courtroom, I wouldn't have made it back in court to hear the testimonies. We got through the jury selection. We got through opening statements from both sides, the defendants and the prosecutors, and we also heard from 2 witnesses. Now, I just turned my phones on, and already the headlines that I'm seeing are people talking about the male escort, what was claimed by the male escort, right? There were claims of who made who on who, whether Diddy, Cassie, who told who to do what. There were conversations about jealousy between Cassie and Kim Porter, and this being just a toxic relationship, and domestic and things that Diddy is willing to own up to, but trafficking and all the other things being things that he is not willing to own up to. There's a lot to break down from today. It was very detailed. Now let's get into the whole in the mouth by the escort. So on the stand, the prosecution did allege that Cassie is going to testify that Puff allegedly had made a male escort in her mouth. That is what they alleged in their opening statements. There was an escort that got on the stand as a witness. During this testimony, this escort talked about being made to Cassie's mouth. But this witness says that it was Cassie who asked him to do that, and that Puff was watching, and honestly, that was stricken. Like the jurors, when he got into, because he was speaking directly about Cassie and the fact that Cassie allegedly asked him to do it, and that's why he did it. And he was saying that at first he didn't know how to do it. Like he was just like he normally pee. And that Cassie, along with Puff, was basically telling him like slow down, like don't let it all come out at one point, like you know what I mean, like you're really. And then that one line I just said about him saying what Puff and Cassie said to him together about that was stricken from the jurors. Like, they're not even allowed to use that, because his original conversation around this was Cassie asked him to do that, allegedly, and that Cassie was like the mastermind behind that. Cassie is going to testify, and that's going to happen this week. To be honest with y'all, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens tomorrow. So the prosecutor's opening statements are being picked up, but there was a witness on the stand that changed that whole story. After leaving today, I feel like when we hear the conversations about Puff's legal team and how powerful the legal team is and how good they are, until you see it in person, you don't even understand. I'm gonna do a full breakdown tonight, which will be posting to my podcast tomorrow morning, and then I'll see y'all on the Breakfast Club. We got a lot to talk about. Today was a day.
All right, so that was beautifully broke down by Lauren, and she's a class act, and her outfit was fire. Let's just keep it all the way 100 there. The outfit was fire. Now, a lot of people seem to think that Cassie was down with all of this. After hearing that testimony from that mail worker, they're saying that Cassie was complicit in all of this, and now she's trying to paint this picture like she was coerced and manipulated by Diddy, and if she didn't do the things that Diddy wanted her to do, that there would be some repercussions for her actions, right? So the overall sentiment is that you don't stay with someone that long that makes you do the things that Diddy was making her do, allegedly, right? And so a lot of people are just looking at Cassie with a different lens on, because they're seeing that there's something not right, that she participated, she was a willing participant in all of this as well. Even though the aspect of Diddy being very bullyish within their relationship and making her do things, she had a part in it too. Now, let me make myself clear. Cassie did not deserve to be a BUSED. She didn't deserve to be BEAT. She didn't deserve to be manipulated or none of that stuff. But two things can be true at the same time, guys. She could have been through the worst of the worst with Diddy. We know that she's been through some S, right? But at the end of the day, she stayed for that lifestyle and the fortune and fame. And I personally believe it wasn't until she met her husband, Alex Fine, where she began to be educated by him about the possibility of leaving and suing Diddy too. You cannot tell me that her and Alex didn't have a conversation about all the things that she went through. Now, she maybe didn't tell him about the fact that she likes Mountain Dew in her mouth, and I'm paraphrasing there, you guys know what I'm talking about, but even if she was made to do it or she likes that, whatever the case may be, Carisha said, right, that she likes to play in water sports herself, so that was something that her and Diddy engaged in as well. So it has to be true that performing water sports was on the table of contents when they got together in intimate settings with other individuals, right? But you can't sit here and tell me that Alex wasn't the backbone or probably the mastermind on how he and Cassie could move forward as it pertains to her being violated by Diddy and possibly suing him to get a big chunk of change, which they were actually successful in doing. Now, in closing, I want to read you something that was posted by Diddy twin daughters on yesterday on Instagram, and it's pretty heartbreaking. So it says here, "Dear mommy, you were the best mommy anyone could have ever had, and we are so blessed that God chose you to be our mommy. We miss you so very much every single day, and we wish you could be here with us today. These last couple of years have been so extremely difficult without you by our side. We really wish you were here for these years that we begin to grow and start to mature into young ladies. We are going to follow in your footsteps and always make you proud. I hope you are up there celebrating this beautiful day with your mommy and grandma. We miss you all so much. Happy Mother's Day to our queen." Now, I know that Mother's Day was just this past Sunday, and of course they're going to pay tribute to their mother. But if you pay close attention to what they said that these last couple of years have been extremely difficult. Those girls are hurting on the inside. They really are, and it's sad. But anyway, I'm gonna let this go right here. I want you guys to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about everything that was discussed in this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you're new here, consider subbing to the channel. I'll get with you guys later. Peace.